You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time you listen, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I would like to invite you to take a seat, pop a squat, fill out your favorite chair, maybe fall into a comfy beanbag, grab a nice bottle of rum, grab a big tall glass of scotch, hell, pour yourself a hot cocoa. It doesn't matter. We're here to be friends. So I think it's about time that we sat down and had a nice little chat, the four of us this evening, with you, the internet audience. This is the P3 Podcast, the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. And we are here to provide quality, wholesome entertainment. You know what? Fuck that. I can't do it. You're all idiots. I haven't seen 1 cent of the $49.99. I hope y'all die in a tire fire. Maybe get the clap. Hope the diabetes catches up with you and your feet fall off. You're all stupid and terrible, and I hate you all. Stop listening now. Unsubscribe. Unfriend us on the website, on the Facebook. I hate you all. This is the P3 Podcast, and you're all stupid. This is Alec Ransom, founding father of Ransomware Incorporated. We make the most insane software you would ever come across. You won't even come across it. That's how crazy it is. That's how nuts it is. You don't even know it's there. But I'll take your $49.99 and I'll take it through my software. Don't you think I won't, bitches?
Is it a money laundering software?
No, shut up. Don't talk about it. The first rule of ransomware software is you don't talk about ransomware software. I'm also the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. That would be Mr. That's Mr. to you idiots. Mr. Poot the Bard, baby.
Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you, my advocate. And I'm so glad you could get ransomware off the ground. Is it out of that refrigerator box in the alley yet?
We are up and running. We're out of beta. We have completed the trial runs. It's up and running and probably on everybody's computer listening to this podcast, which is the three of you.
Well, fuck my life.
Congratulations!
So are we going to start seeing that $49.99?
We're going to see it whether the idiots on the interwebs like it or not, because I'm just going to take it. I'm taking it from you.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm taking it from you.
You know what else? You're doing such a wonderful job. Why don't you introduce the rest of the cohorts for the P3 Podcast?
The rest of the cohorts, indeed. I would like to introduce the sponsor with the best website we've got going today, because it doesn't advertise patios and garage doors. That would be Tiger Bomb Tom, the casual gaming dad.
Tiger uppercut. Anyways, how are you gents doing tonight?
It's just a pit fire.
I'm doing great, man. Things are getting busy over here in Bardland.
I got to take a look, a glimpse, a mirror image of myself in my own natural habitat today at the zoo.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I was expecting them to put a cage around you. Be like, you got to be careful. They're going to cage you up.
Yeah. Yep.
That's no good. That's no good. Oh, by the way, this is a completely 100% stone sober episode. There are no beers being partaken in Mordor.
I think
and it'll still be a dumpster fire regardless.
This might be.
It'll still be a dumpster fire.
Yeah. This might be the first sober podcast.
Ever. Maybe.
Well, the one that I wasn't there for. The one where I was out
there is that.
I think Pooh was drinking.
I don't know.
Honestly, I think we owe it to them after Saturday because Ransom and I got kind of soused.
You got kind of soused. Speaking of dumpster fires getting soused, that's Beef the Legend there.
Last, but most certainly least, Beef the Legend.
I don't have to take this abuse, you know. I can go start my own
You're going to take it and you're going to love
it. I'm scared to do it.
Because you know what? You know what? I have it on good authority. That not only will ransomware take your $49.99, you know what else it'll do? It'll send you private messages to berate you, Beef.
Yeah, and nude pictures of my butt.
I mean, I've been getting both of those things. I've been getting both of those things for the last like 10 years now. So I mean, what's
that's fair.
I've been on the ground floor of ransomware since I started in college. So
To be fair.
So listen, this is a historic night, not for the fact that it's a sober night, but also for the fact that for the first time ever during Hot Tag Trivia, Ransom will be putting something on the line.
Ooh.
That's a little teaser. A little teaser to wet your whistle, to entice your appetite, if you will.
To whet your
Ransom will
whistle?
be putting something on the line.
Entice my appetite with some Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Why are you?
Cool Whip.
All right, we're not playing this game. I'm not asking
Yes.
why you saying it that way. I'm not doing that.
Wanted to.
I want to. I
So
desperately want to.
Hey, speaking of, real quick, before we get too far off the rails, I know we always say we're going to do it, and then we don't till like 10 minutes in. Let's properly go ahead and thank the sponsors.
If you're looking for hot deals and bloody good prices on garage doors and patio furniture
There we
and
go.
bathroom cabinets, I'm sorry, Beef, take it away.
No, I mean, please visit our sponsors on Facebook. That would be WrestleDeals.com on Facebook. Your home for violent deals and bloody good prices on Facebook. Run by Sean Tischler.
Cannot stress enough on Facebook.
On Facebook. I swear I'm gonna reach out to him. Sean, if you're listening, shoot me at the text and let me know what's going on, buddy. Let's figure this out.
Why don't you
And,
shoot us a
Also,
text now?
before you go further, also, Sean, if you're listening, I hope you're taking this all in stride and all in jest. I'm just ragging on you. Don't mean to be insulting, so please don't take it that way.
And I gotta say though, if anybody didn't catch the live podcast, they won't know what we're talking about. Whenever my girlfriend popped in to listen, she caught it in the middle whenever you had alluded to it there, Ransom, and she didn't quite know what was going on. So I had her go back and watch like the very beginning of the podcast and then the very end. I swear to God, I don't care how many times I've watched the end of that live podcast. Those last couple of minutes, I laughed till I almost puke because
Multi-family garage sale.
yeah,
WrestleDeals.com.
oh my God, I fucking lost it. And but when you first did it, the way if the other two of you haven't gone back and watched the video at the very end when he first goes, your facial expression sell it all. Just the audio doesn't do it justice. You're just like with the hand gesture and everything. Like, by the way, if you're looking for hot deals, I'm like, oh my God, I fucking lose it.
And let's be real, if you didn't catch the live podcast, go back and watch it on Facebook because it is quality stuff.
It's a trash fire.
well, you know what?
It's a trash fire.
You
I
can
won't
watch
say if
it.
it's good quality or bad quality, but it is definitely quality
It's
stuff.
quality. It's entertaining. It's an entertaining dumpster fire of a show, and you can watch it on the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast Facebook page, or on my page over on YouTube, Casual Gaming Dad, because we had some issues trying to get it on the P3 page, but we should be good for next time. So next live podcast, it'll be live both on Facebook and YouTube, Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast pages. So,
And what a great segue, because we'd like to thank our other sponsor, Casual Gaming Dad, especially for helping us out and hosting the live podcast on YouTube as well.
no problem at all.
Definitely check him out, like him on Facebook, subscribe, check out his gaming videos. A lot of fun
on
stuff
YouTube,
coming up. I
Twitch
know he's
as
talking
well.
about.
Casual
Me
Gaming
Twitch,
Dad.
Yeah, mi casa su casa when it comes to the pages there. So
Yeah, man.
All right, so if we're done jerking each other off,
we are. Wait.
Yeah,
okay, now I'm done.
we're hot off the heels of an NXT Takeover and a SummerSlam? Super Bowl
Yes.
Saturday? No, it's
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
Super Bowl Saturday? No.
So,
Spring
yeah,
Stampede?
there's a...
That's a good one. I like that one. Spring
Bastards.
Stampede.
So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of matches, a lot of wrestling to talk about here.
I gotta tell you, man. All right, before we get into this, let's say weighing it out. Nice, there it was. I
Very
feel
nice.
much more at home now.
Yep.
Now, so which do you guys think took the cake? Because honestly, you talk about. I heard Beef the Legend doing his post SummerSlam yakety
I did
yaks.
not.
And he actually took the very prudent prudent way of saying things. Which do you think was better, NXT Takeover or SummerSlam?
Takeover. No fucking question. If there's ever a time whenever we answer the WWE pay-per-view over the NXT Takeover, then Vince McMahon is dead, because Takeover will always beat the pay-per-view.
I'll tell you what.
Agreed.
I'll tell you what. I will say Takeover, but I will say this with an asterisk. I'm gonna go ahead and eat some more crow here, because I expected SummerSlam. I didn't expect a whole lot out of it, and it was actually better. It exceeded my own personal expectations, and more importantly, which I'm sure we'll get to, the Brock Lesnar Seth Rollins match. I have never been more happy to be wrong than what I was about that. So we'll leave it at that.
It was finally, after how many years, a great Brock Lesnar match.
It really was, honestly.
So let's
hold on. The last Brock Lesnar match I can remember, being as good as that one.
Oh, Goldberg and him WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. Oh no.
Yep.
Well, but that's a given, anyways. No. I was gonna say the CM Punk match at the one SummerSlam with him and Brock. That was actually that Punk match, and the other night him against Rollins. Those were probably the best Brock Lesnar matches I can remember. 1-on-1. Keep in mind, 1-on-1. Title match. I was thoroughly impressed. And there was one thing I'll save it for later when we get to that. But there was something that was said that I kind of have to disagree with in hindsight. So,
the one thing, and so let's kind of put things into perspective here. Yes, SummerSlam is a good show, and I mentioned this at the review. SummerSlam is a good show, but so like if that's No Mercy, or if that's Backlash, or if that's even Money in the Bank, it's a good show and I'm on board. But we're talking about the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and that's what you got. Yeah, the last 4 matches brought it, and they brought it real hard.
What is happening?
Charlotte versus Trish was really good. The Fiend versus Balor. We'll talk at length. Orton versus Kofi was very good, and I'm still talking. And Rollins versus Lesnar was very good. But you cannot base a show on the last hour alone.
Agreed.
The rest of the card did not deliver, did not meet my expectations, and for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, the biggest party of the summer, I was very let down.
I'll tell you one thing I was actually kind of surprised with, and just to compare a couple of matches on the card, the Natalya versus Becky Lynch match, I thought was actually worse than the Bayley Ember Moon match. Bayley Ember Moon was a solid match. I'm not saying it was, it wowed me, but it was a good match, and I actually expected a lot more out of Becky and Natalya. Just the way that angle was built up a little bit more. Like the Bayley Ember Moon one didn't seem to have as much behind it, but they delivered more when it came to the match than Becky and Natalya. What say you there, guys?
Becky and Natalya, I feel so bad saying this, man, because like Natty, I want to like Natalya.
He's a waste. He's a waste. Let's be honest.
I'm talking now.
He's a waste.
I'm talking now.
Yeah, the champ is talking.
Shut up and listen to your champ.
All right.
Worst.
I'm the advocate. Shut up and listen to the champ.
Thank you. So, Natalya, Natalya, like, I want to like her because honestly, the entire Hart dynasty, short of like the Oso-Rans, the other Hart brothers. Like, if you're talking like Brett, Bulldog, Neidhart, Owen, like kind of coming down from that, I really wanted to like Natalya. But the problem is, to me, anytime she comes to the ring or she's in the ring, she looks like a create-a wrestler on one of the WWE 2Ks. Like, she has like no personality. When she heals up, she feels like your white wine spritzer drinking aunt that like is getting mad because her ex is just being a dick. You know what I mean?
She makes the worst heel. It's so forced.
And just nothing she does in the ring feels like it has impact. What is that hissing in the background? Are there snakes? Are there snaky noodles about? Anyway, so Natalya,
Danger noodles.
Like, here's my problem.
Danger noodles.
Oh,
Holy moly.
danger ropes are about.
Yes.
The
Danger ropes.
Danger
Nope
ropes. So anyway, like Natalya, I can't get behind her because everything she does looks like it has no impact. She's not a convincing heel. She's a really bad baby face. It's just not good. And even being in the ring with someone like Becky Lynch, who really goes hard, doesn't do it. Ember Moon and Bayley, both of them bring it. I've liked Ember Moon since she debuted. She is superb in the ring. Just superb. Whoa.
Wow, who popped? I don't know who that.
I'm going to pop hard for none of this conversation.
It's just, to me, the better of the two matches was Ember Moon Bayley. But, I mean, again, Natalya just leaves me flat.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with Ember Moon and Bayley. It was too short, and that's representative of most of the card. Becky versus Natalya, even though Natalya is no damn good, and I feel bad saying it, but she is no damn good. She didn't deserve to be there, but they at least had a decent, I think, like 20, 25 minute like time slot. The rest of the matches in the card were like 9 minutes maybe. So like it felt like, and that's the entire problem with the undercard is that there was no time at all for any of the matches. It felt like they were rushing through it. And then
agree.
we were done at 10:30. We were done at freaking 10:30. I haven't been done with the pay-per-view at 10:30 since like WCW went off the air.
I'm personally okay
I
with
read
that.
some rumor somewhere that it was supposed to go till like midnight.
Well, here's one thing to keep in mind too, and not to make excuses for the rest of the matches being short because they shouldn't have been. But I will say you definitely can't rush a submission match, so you have to have at least a good 20 minutes for that. Otherwise, that would if there's any match that you definitely don't want to rush, it's a submission / I quit match. So. But I agree. But I definitely do agree. The rest of the matches definitely felt a lot short. Trish and Charlotte I don't know. Maybe it was just me that felt like they got a little bit more than like the 10-minute mark.
Oh no! Like when I'm talking about the problems with SummerSlam, I'm talking about everything leading up to that to that match. When like I said, the top of SummerSlam, the last hour, which was Charlotte Trish, the Fiend versus Balor, the Orton Kofi, and Rollins versus Lesnar. Those 4 matches, I think, actually delivered and actually over-delivered on what I expected. Everything else, though, was the problem. So,
okay.
Those 4 matches were paced well.
Yeah, I lost track of where the matches fell on the card, honestly. So
we're diving into SummerSlam here. Let's at least touch on NXT Takeover. What do you guys
I
think?
was going to save the best for last. Yeah, I mean, I was going to save the best for last and actually talk about that like in depth a little bit later.
Well, if we're going to save the best,
now.
if we're going to save the best for last, honestly, we better be saving the Fiend's debut.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
So let's. I'll tell you what. Let's go back to NXT. What else can you say? Not surprisingly, top to bottom, a solid card. The one match that I was actually really surprised by, and I even said it to you guys and to my girlfriend, was the Candice LeRae Io Shirai match. I told her, I was like, yeah, one of these matches is probably going to be a little bit of and I'll call you during it. Nope, eyes on the whole time. That was awesome, and heel Io definitely brought it. She definitely helped Candice look very, very strong, and I mean, I hope to see more out of Candice LeRae in the future. Well, I hope that she gets a decent little angle somewhere besides what she just had, like the match wise with Io, because there wasn't a whole lot leading up to that feud. Like it wasn't paced out a long, matter of weeks and weeks and weeks or anything like that. But the way the match was in the ring, you would have thought that it was, you know what I mean? Like it was that good.
All right. Now just touching on stuff we didn't watch really quick. I mean, it was a given Breezango was going to go over the Forgotten Sons. It was a given.
Whoa. These are spoilers, because you know that they taped that, right? Like what they had prior to the event is taped for this week.
Oh. I did not know that. I did not know that. Well, then never mind.
That wasn't even on the card.
Never. Well, no, I figured they had a pre-show. Didn't they have a pre-show?
No, they did not.
No.
I thought we just didn't watch it because we were eating delicious foods.
No.
Okay, well, never mind.
It was. Yeah.
how do you guys feel about them not doing the draped in gold with the Undisputed Era with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish?
Ransom.
If something leads up to it and we get there, I'm okay with it. If we get to War Games and we have the Undisputed Era draped in gold, I'm fine with that. I am a huge fan of the Undisputed Era. I think they're probably 4 of the best talents that NXT or WWE as a whole has. If we're gonna go into the dream booking realm, I would love to see a tag match between the Undisputed Era and the Young Bucks. If I could see one tag match, if I could have one fantasy tag match that I would see, that would be the one, because I think that would be probably a match that you would never forget. I'm a big fan of the Undisputed Era, and I, just for my own selfish reasons, want to see them draped in gold because I think they deserve it. So if we can get to War Games and have all the titles on Undisputed Era, even just for one event, I'd say it's worth it.
What are you?
I'm disappointed they didn't win at NXT, but as far as the match went, I thought the match was phenomenal.
What do you think of the idea that because Red Dragon, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong did not gain those belts, but Adam Cole held on to it? What do you think they're going to do the flip-flop at War Games? They're going to have Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish get those belts. Roderick Strong's going to get that, and then Adam Cole's going to lose his belt.
Nah.
Well, I don't see the point of that.
I don't see Adam Cole.
What I'm going to say.
Why take the big one away from Adam Cole?
Yeah, I don't.
Here's what I'm
see.
going to say. I think that the booking of the belts was deliberately because of War Games. Because traditionally, War Games is the Undisputed Era's match because they are the 4-man stable. Okay, so you always put like Undisputed Era and then like a good face team up against them.
Oh, like they did with War Machine
like
and
last year.
Pete Dunne and Ricochet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I love the idea of the Undisputed Era draped in gold, but if you put every piece of gold on the Undisputed Era and they go into War, because I don't think that there's a takeover between now and War Games.
I don't think so either.
In theory, they would all be holding the gold. So you're basically putting every single one of your eggs into one basket. You're going to have no other title matches on the card, save for maybe a UK title match, maybe. But other than that, you would have no other title matches on the card. You would just have War Games, which is probably not going to be for any titles, or it'd be for all the titles, one or the other.
Well, then you also have the angle, though. What if because they get all the gold, they're acting like snots, and Regal says, "All right, fine, you're all pulling double duty."
Ooh, there is that.
Let me ask you this.
We all lose. We all lose in that scenario, because then you take them where they should be focusing on one big long match and instead have to go out, expend themselves in probably a 15-20 minute affair prior to that big long match. So they're all going to be. So I mean, that's a no-win situation for anybody, I think.
Also, not to mention the fact there aren't a whole lot of. I mean, there aren't as many matches on NXT as there are on normal WWE pay-per-views.
True.
So if you're filling up a tag team title match, United States. What is it? North American title match and an NXT title match, and then throwing all those guys into a War Games match, the entire NXT pay-per-view is pretty much just going to be Undisputed Era.
Yeah,
right.
And I could see something not kind of almost piggybacking off of what Pooch just suggested. Not so much pulling double duty, but Regal coming out and saying, okay, you guys are going to be in a War Games match, and every one of your titles is on the line. It's all or nothing. So you guys, live by the sword, die by the sword. You win as a team or die as a team, sort of thing. I could see maybe that, but honestly, I think you'll see. I think you'll see Undisputed Era win the tag titles off of like a regular weekly NXT show somewhere, either maybe like a little bit after War Games or something, because I think maybe going into War Games, whoever they put them up against, Undisputed Era comes out on top. And then they'll be like, hey, we deserve another title shot like right now. And then that way it's still before the next takeover, which would be Royal Rumble weekend, which would be after 2019. That way the prophecy of the Undisputed Era draped in gold still has a chance to come true.
Now, do you think do we see a help me out? What am I trying to say?
Do we? I was going to ask something. Go ahead.
Do we see a War Games without an NXT Championship match?
I don't know.
My
think
fear
you
in
know-
that is that Adam Cole loses the NXT Championship before War Games.
That won't
Was
happen.
there one last year?
Well,
That's a
Adam
good
Cole
question.
didn't have the championship last year.
Who had it? Oh no, that was wasn't that Gargano Ciampa?
That may have been Gargano Ciampa. Yeah,
I think it was.
So if the NXT title's on Adam Cole come War Games, does either Adam Cole himself, just him, pull double duty and have to defend the NXT title and also then participate in a War Games match? Or does Adam Cole not have the NXT title come War Games? Or are we completely thinking the wrong way entirely and we don't see Adam Cole in a War Games match at all?
I
you
think,
know, he's pulled
honestly,
double duty before. He's done it.
There's that, or I think maybe just I know it's blasphemous to say because we're so used to it, but maybe the Undisputed Era won't be in the War Games match, or it'll be the three of them without Adam Cole. That's my opinion.
It'll be the third one they do, and it'll be the
that'd be
final
terrible.
one they do.
I agree. Yeah, this is their swan song. I think this is their last War Games. I mean, yeah, I don't.
So you think we just don't see an
NXT?
NXT title match at War
I
Games
agree.
then?
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. If you have a tag team title match, or North American title match, or women's title match, maybe bring the UK title over for that event specifically, and then the War Games, I'm fine with that.
I mean, me personally, I don't need to see an NXT title match at War Games if I'm seeing Adam Cole and Undisputed Era in the War Games match.
right.
I'm fine with that.
Exactly.
As long as I
I'm
get
okay
to see
with that.
the Undisputed Era and Adam Cole wrestle.
Because again,
I don't care whether it's for the title or not. But I'm just
again,
saying.
because you also have the weekly shows, and it does make it feel a little bit more special when you see something. I know you don't want to necessarily quote unquote give it away for free, as they would say, but like it does make it pretty awesome that you're like, oh, I have to tune in next Wednesday night because well, here, you know what? Here's a good example. If the rumor's true, like we have been hearing rumblings about, and NXT does go live on Wednesday nights, what better way to kick that off than with either some sort of title match or
A
whatever.
title change, right?
Yeah, a
you're
title
100%
change,
on point.
a title change, outside of the takeover pay-per-view.
And I was just gonna say that. I think that's exactly what we'll see. The debut on NXT of FS1. I think we'll see a title change.
I think the title change that you'll see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's right. Go ahead. Keep going.
I think the title change you're either going to see on that debut is either the NXT Championship or you're going to see the Women's Championship go, which, by the way, you guys think they made the right call with Shayna Baszler still retaining?
No,
No.
not at all. I honestly, I'm okay. I mean, it sucks that I love the Undisputed Era, and I wanted to see them capture the gold. I want to see them all draped in gold. But like we had said, if you eventually get it, that's fine. I honestly think Baszler retaining was the wrong call. I think Mia Yim had such a good push, and she did something that nobody else had done before. She went after her Shayna Baszler's other true cronies beforehand. She did it smart. And that was the angle coming up to it. And she, took it out with some street justice, took them out with some street justice and, was coming in hot. And man, they just they pissed all over that. I think that was a wrong call.
I can't even believe I'm going to be the lone dissenter in this.
Here we go.
Again, if you talked to Beef a year ago, he'd punch you in the face for saying this, but I have no problem with it. Yes, I would have preferred that Mia Yim wins the title. But I got no problem with Baszler holding it because every victory that Baszler has, every time we're oh so sure that she is going to drop that title, she gains more heat, and that title gains more credibility, more legitimacy, which I think it kind of needed after Kairi Sane and Baszler kind of traded it back and forth.
Well, that's also, I mean, she's, in my opinion, the first one in a while to really give that belt legitimacy. And remember, it's the statement I made on the live broadcast. It's not the person. It's not the belt that makes the person. It's the person who makes the belt.
Makes the belt.
With Kairi Sane, I know she's very talented. I love Kairi Sane as much as the next person in the ring. But I'll tell you what, as a champion, they tried to have that belt make her. Baszler is making that belt.
100%. So
I agree with that. But I still
at some point,
disagree with the decision.
Someone's going to get a big, huge rocket strap to the back, be it Bianca Belair, be it Katie Catanzaro, be it, someone from NXT UK, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, Piper Niven. It could be any of these women who it's just a huge, ginormous thing because Asuka never got beat for the belt. Asuka said, "Here's the belt, I'm leaving." So no one got that
And then they fucked
route.
that up on the main roster. So
Oh my lord! Did
here you go.
True.
Here's a
But
question.
someone is going to beat Baszler, and her title reigns have been impressive. So someone's going to get a big push. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Here's a question for you. Do you think that they would try to capture lightning in a bottle twice? Do you think they'll do the same thing with Baszler and just have her never actually get defeated for it?
No. Because, like I said, the last 3 years have been building to someone finally dethroning her.
oh yeah.
And if there's no payoff, like this isn't like Asuka where she dominated. And yes, it is kind of like that. But Baszler is a shit-eating grin heel. Like the fans have been just venomous about her losing the title. And she's improved. Her mic skills have improved. Her look has improved. Her in-ring acumen has improved. But the fans are still ready. So, like, if they don't take that title off of her and give it to somebody else, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
So I want to chime in here with two things real quick. One's a comment, one's a question. This is, I'm no legend, so this is the Mordor letdown.
Oh, the Mordor
Wait,
walk.
hold on. The Sauron sad face.
Yeah.
Sauron's
Here we go.
sad face.
You're welcome.
This is the Sauron sad face. Vagabond Tom, you are an artist with words.
I try.
So here's the Sauron sad face of the night. And I know this is past, but somebody just harkened back to it and it brought it up and it made me think of it. My gosh, can the main roster fuck up people? Just there's no denying it, and there's no level to the fuckery that Vince McMahon and the main roster can bring to an absolute top tier NXT talent. And that's Asuka to a T. She was undefeated in NXT. Didn't drop the NXT title to somebody. She relinquished it. Came to the main roster undefeated. First woman ever undefeated. WWE could have made a legitimate, in-ring, talented, undefeated wrestler like Goldberg did, or like WCW did with a no-talent hack like Goldberg.
Sorry.
WWE,
I stroked out a little bit. Sorry.
Asuka could have been the female version of Goldberg,
Don't
except
say his name too many more times. He who shall not be named.
Yeah, they really could have, but instead they brought her to the main roster and just fed her to, in my opinion, a jackwagon who is overrated. And that's my big disappointment with Asuka. Like they really could have ran with her as this undisputed woman wrestler, this just a Goliath of a female wrestler, like she was in NXT, but they didn't. And that's my Sauron sad face of the night.
Now let me ask you. Let me ask
before we go. Yeah, go ahead. Go off of that.
I was gonna say, let me ask you off of that. Triple H spent a long time masterminding that, building her and everything like that. And then when she first arrived for a cup of coffee, she was still that, and then very quickly got dethroned by Tits McGee. Now,
Old horse face.
old horse face Tits McGee. Now, what do you think that was Vince power playing Triple H saying, you can build them all you want, but I have the power up here. Don't you forget that.
I don't know what Vince was thinking, but I can only guess. And again, don't know either one of the two. But just seeing how much time and effort that Triple H has sunk into his NXT talents, building up this new generation of sports entertainer, the future WWE superstars, the people who are going to carry that company when all the old, tired, I'm so sick of seeing their face heads go away, or go into a Legends contract, or do whatever John Cena's doing. Triple H spends so much time cultivating these new young talents, and they get to the main roster and they just get dumped on.
Yep.
They're like the porta potties of sports entertainment. They just get pooped on,
And like
constantly. And I would hope, not for the fact that I want negativity to come to Triple H, but I would hope that Triple H is disappointed in a lot of these decisions that Vince makes, just after seeing everything that he's done to build these people up, especially with Asuka. And then it's just crapped on once it gets to the main roster.
So I can't believe I'm going to do this twice in one night, but I'm going to be a
You're
dissenter
the
again.
worst.
well, hang on, because Ransom still had a question. What was the
Well,
question?
if this
Well,
is within the same line, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Charlotte and Asuka. So
Yeah.
last year when it happened, was it last year? I think it was last year. I was so much against it because Asuka did have everything going for her. She won the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. She was a big push. Great. Awesome. But then Charlotte beat her, and I'm like, well, fuck, I fucking hate Charlotte. I fucking hated Charlotte ever since she started beating Sasha in pay-per-views. But then I kind of put his first perspective. So she has beaten Sasha in all the main cards. She's beaten Becky a lot. She's beaten Bayley a lot. She's beaten Asuka. And now she's taking the rub from Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. I mean, it's very clear that they have a plan for Charlotte Flair to be the face of the women's division. And I personally don't agree with that. But
Melted
if you
plastic
tell
face.
me if you tell me that Asuka was going to do the same things, I would have trouble seeing it, especially taking the rub from Trish Stratus. I just, as much as I pain to see it, I see a little bit more money in Charlotte than I do Asuka. And again, I'm not talking about match skill wise because we know that fucking Asuka can work circles around most of those women. Charlotte Flair, and God help me, I think that she probably has the most money on her at this point in WWE, in the women's division.
So the question that I wanted to pose to you, Mooks, we talked about it when we were talking about the Undisputed Era, and when NXT goes live on Wednesday nights. Since NXT is now going to be going head to head with AEW on Wednesday nights, Fox is going to be demanding a lot out of WWE on SmackDown. Do we see in this new coming era? Do we see the old? And I say old because I see the validity of it, but at the same time, it seems old-fashioned to me, and it doesn't give me a whole lot of desire to want to watch the weekly shows. Do you think we see more title changes on weekly shows in the coming days that we have seen in the past? Because for the most part, you don't see a title change regardless of whether or not it's a top-tier title or mid-tier title or something stupid, in my opinion, which has nothing to do with the gender, the women's tag team title. You don't see title changes on weekly shows. Those are set.
That's a thing of the past.
Yes, it's set for pay-per-views only. So, shut up.
Captain Contrarian getting ready, loading his gun.
Yeah, here he comes. He's loading up. He's loading up the ham.
I'm just
saying,
in the last month we've seen 2 of them. But go on.
But okay, so do you think maybe we'll see a little bit more? Maybe even do you think we see, and not just for this first one, but going forward, do you think maybe we see an NXT title change on a weekly show? Do you think maybe we get to see a WWE or a Universal title change on a weekly show?
No.
Well, I mean,
here's my thing: I don't watch the weekly shows because A, busy, and B, I know that there's not going to be any important, poignant title changes on a weekly show. So what's the point? I'm gonna say for the pay-per-views, because at the pay-per-views, I know I'm never gonna see a WWE or a Universal title change on a weekly show. Probably not gonna see an NXT title change on a random NXT show.
To be fair,
so I'm gonna watch the big events to see title changes.
right?
But to be fair, they have done in the past couple years really weird surprise changes. If you get what I'm saying, like
those are super duper rare.
Do you remember when Joe lost? When Joe lost the NXT title
At a house show.
Yeah,
That was actually part of our one of our hot tag trivia questions.
yeah.
I don't remember that. Was there any?
There was because
was there an
you had
underlying
asked-
reason behind that? Was there
Well,
like a
'cause he was
there an
getting called
injury or
up.
was something?
Yeah,
So
was-
that's the
I was
thing.
gonna-
He was going to get called up, and they didn't want to wait for the next NXT takeover. So, if there's not an extenuating circumstance, do we start to see not on a monthly basis, but more regularly than we have in the past? Do we see some title changes on
I don't
weekly
know.
shows?
I don't know, honestly. I think it really depends on where the ratings are at. But here's the thing. Given the fact that we haven't seen that and the fact that Fox was still interested enough in WWE to say, hey, we want you to take your Tuesday Night SmackDown off of USA and move it over to our network, then I would venture to say that no, we wouldn't, because they were already pleased enough with the potential the WWE had without having to do those weekly or more, not weekly, but more frequent title changes on the weekly show. So I would say no, question mark, asterisk.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
they're gonna want
See, my
something.
comment to that real fast is that Fox is a big ass business. You know,
Right.
WWE's a big business, but Fox, that's a big ass business. When it's and again, it's not, Fox isn't acquiring WWE; they're just moving WWE to their network. But at the same time,
right.
you would think that they would have some stroke.
100% they do.
When
Well,
you're-
look at
when
the
you're a big
24/7
company-
title.
Well, when you're a big company,
Just saying,
And
they
you-
wanted that. We all know that they wanted that. That
When you're a
wasn't a
big-
Vince McMahon idea. So I mean,
when you're a big company and you bring something in, whether or not it's a takeover, a buyout, or whatever, you don't leave things the same. You want a return on your investment. So you're not going to say, okay, well, we're going to bring you in. Do what you do. We're good. Don't
Ransom, to answer
don't
your
change
question,
anything.
To answer your question, yes. I think we will see more title changes, but I don't think that's a good thing, because if the early 2000s had taught us anything, hot shotting titles is not the answer. How many times did John Cena and Randy Orton change hands with the WWE title? More
Oh,
times
God.
than I want to remember, and that was that was on pay-per-views for the most part. So hot shotting titles is not the answer, but if it's kind of the whole like short-term versus long-term thing. Like, yeah, short-term you're gonna get people on watching the product, same as like having Brock Lesnar show up. Yeah, you're gonna get eyes on the product for that week or maybe the week after, but then it's gonna fall back off again
here's
unless
my
you keep doing it. So
to piggyback off of that. I don't want to see them like super frequent, but if we get okay, so let's say how many times have we seen a WWE Championship title change or a Universal title change on a weekly show in the last year? How many times
Has there ever been a Universal title change on a weekly show?
I don't know that there has.
Aside from maybe Finn Balor relinquishing it because he got hurt, was there like a
think
legitimate
Owens-
match?
yeah, Owens won the Fatal 4-Way on Raw to win.
That's
I
it.
think
Was that
was-
for a
that-
vacated title?
yes.
That was because of the vacated title,
Right.
yeah.
Right,
Okay, so
not
okay,
extenuating
so-
circumstances,
If we
injury-wise or
see-
vacated-wise. Has there ever been like a one-on-one title change match for the Universal title on a weekly show?
I don't think so.
I don't think there has, but here's what I'll say. If they book it right, if we see one, maybe two in a year of like a big top tier title change, I'd be okay with that. But the important thing is booking it right, or even if it's a lower title change, making sure they put it on somebody, to help elevate somebody up, like taking a younger talent or whatever that's up and coming that just maybe got called up or something and do that. You know what I mean? Like,
but
just
then you
proper booking.
But then you run into the problem that they have where, like, how many times can you remember in the past where they would have someone get like the underdog win, and then literally like a week or two later they'd lose it back to the big guy.
Right. Well,
that was like the Rock and Mankind storyline from 1999. Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Proper booking. Don't do that shit. Don't hot potato it. Yeah, don't hot potato it. Like let him hold on for a month or two, and then maybe lose it back to somebody. Like let it be like, okay, he's the underdog. He got lucky. It was a fluke, and then it's like, oh, it wasn't a fluke. He's actually somewhat decent. Then maybe in a month or two,
and then you go, oh, he's got a little bit of a way to go.
Well, hold on. Yeah, in a month or two, take it off of him, but don't do it on the weekly show. Do it on the next pay-per-view or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a mid-tier pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'd be okay with something like that. It's gonna come down to it's a feeling out process. You gotta book smart. You gotta book it smart.
Well, the WWE has such a wonderful track record with that. I wouldn't worry.
I know. Well, let's get out of the cloud of possible negativity and back into.
Actually, Tom, I have a real good segue to get back into NXT. And this is kind of like maybe the final point that we should touch on for NXT. But I want to hear you guys. What did you think of Cool Gargano 3? Did it live up to the hype? And was it as good or better than Cool Gargano 2?
All right, mine's going to be really succinct and quick. It didn't live up to it until the Death Cage. Death Cage took it up a notch because we saw them do all the other stuff. I loved Johnny kicking off the second half of it, like, and he was really kind of healing it up, like, oh no, lost that first title because I got DQ'd, or lost that first fall because I got DQ'd. Now I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Like,
yeah, that was good.
But it's like, but then I go like, so is this whole thing gonna be a true face turn for Adam Cole? Like, you know, because really, Adam Cole theoretically is the heel going into all this. But, like, I'm like, okay, so they're going to just make Johnny a heel again? Because he doesn't heel real well.
No.
Right. I don't think you could make Adam Cole a face and still have the rest of the Undisputed Era as heels.
Right.
That's not going to work.
Right. I will say I thought it was great. I think it was one of those things that it was so overhyped, it was going to have a hard time living up to the hype regardless, because the first two matches were both so good. I mean, that 2 out of 3 falls the first time around, Cole Gargano won. I think we talked about that. It was either that one or whatever. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I'm sitting there. Me and my daughter were screaming at the TV. Cole Gargano 2 absolutely delivered. The one thing I will say, I agree with you to an extent, Poot, with that. I loved once Gargano kicked off that second half there with like, oh, all right, well, fuck it, I lost that first fall. Oh yeah, and then but his facial expression sold it. It was the next fall will be a street fight, and he goes, aha, and when he threw the chair out of the ring at Cole's face, holy fuck, that was great.
God.
That was so great.
Ugly. That was
but
so
I will say,
ugly.
The one thing that I really liked during the first fall, because we had seen regular wrestling matches to this point, the one thing that I really, really liked was whenever they started to mirror each other, when they went for like the fake out on the super kicks, and they both paused.
Good.
And then repump faked and repump faked again. That was really, really good, and I thought that was a nice way that they did that in that match, because they know each other so well at this point. But yeah, it's hard to live up to the hype a lot of times, and I think it was just too overhyped. But I really enjoyed the whole match, and the Death Cage was awesome. I still would have preferred. I think it would have made more sense. Especially if they were going to call Gargano up, which it doesn't look like they're going to do. But I think it would have been awesome to have a loser leaves NXT match. That's the true. I think that would have been a true way to put the nail in the coffin. That's the final, definitive thing.
Maybe we'll get that at War Games.
Maybe.
Anyway, Ransom.
Well, and here's Ransom, what are your thoughts on the match?
Well, I'm gonna play my Beef the Legend card here and be contrarian and say it did live up to the hype for me, and it did live up to the first two matches. Even though the Death Cage match, Even though that's not something Smoky Mountain Wrestling would have done. I'll kill you, mother.
Smoky Mountain was the best. They would have had the best 2 out of 3 falls matches, motherfucker.
That stupid gimmick. That gimmick cage is the worst thing ever. That's no way to beat you motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
It did. It lived up to the hype, and I think part of that is my bias showing, because, I'm going to pull out a JR here. It's well documented that I am one of the biggest Shawn Michaels fans ever. I don't think that anybody, entertainer-wise, in wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever.
Let me interject
candle.
for 1 second. I'm making your ringtone Shawn Michaels sexy boy. But go on.
I'm nowhere near. Okay, so, yeah, for me, Shawn. Oh dear Lord, the dogs are out.
Oh no,
Shawn
the
Michaels
dogs of
is the
Mordor.
best. Yeah, the Hounds of Mordor. Shawn Michaels is the best sports entertainer that has ever laced up a pair of boots, in my opinion. And I see a young Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole. I know that's not what they're going for. I know that's not what he's going for. I know that's not what he's going to turn into. He's not going to be the second coming to Shawn Michaels. But, man, Adam Cole has yet to disappoint me in any match that he's been in because of his sheer talent. I'm not taking anything away from Johnny Gargano.
And
he's amazing as well, but it did live up to the hype, and it for me it was as good as the other two.
Well,
here's my thoughts on it, real quick. Real quick. But here's my thoughts on it. So, I straddle the line on this one because whenever you have a trio of matches, and so going way back, Steamboat and Flair, I think, had 3 or 7 or 12 matches, whatever. And each one was as good as the last, but they were damn near carbon copies, and that's real tough to do. Whenever you have a trio of matches, especially whenever you're really kind of closing out a chapter, you don't necessarily want to have the same feel. So I like that this was different than the other two. This was not a classic match. This was something different.
Agree.
To Tom's point, I love what they did in the first fall, where it was very evident that they knew each other, that they knew what was coming, and that they were pre-planning that next move. That was a brilliant touch. I love the street fight. It was actually more than just a no disqualification match. They actually went and they fought in the fans and everything. And I think TNA was originally the home of this match, a Monsters Ball match. I think I read somewhere that Abyss booked it, which would make sense because, Monsters Ball. But the Cage of Death, whatever you want to call it, was a great touch, and I think a fitting end to the rivalry. I think it came close to delivering on the hype, but I think Poot said it, that when you have a match so hyped, it's tough to deliver on. So it came close, but I don't think it made it.
That was me.
Tom
That's okay.
who said that.
Oh, Tom. Okay, thanks, Tom. And then
okay. I'm not angry.
And then as far as it being as good as or better than 1 or 2, again, it's different, so I'm going to judge it differently. The first 2 were technical classics. This wasn't that, but this was something altogether different, but just as good, I think.
My thing was just to kind of stroke Adam Cole's ego again. We're getting tons of feedback, guys. Oh, it's true. Oh, wow. I heard myself and it was glorious. Actually, let it happen. All right. So
Glorious. Sorry.
The thing with Adam Cole is that he is, and Johnny Gargano is as well, but not to the level Adam Cole is. He is a storyteller in the ring.
Agreed.
He knows how to garner sympathy even when he is the biggest shit-eating heel in the universe. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so good.
Yep.
So good. Anyway, those are all good takes. Now, on to SummerSlam.
And
Well,
really,
Why
I
don't we
think that
thank
there's
the
2
sponsors?
things.
Why don't we thank the sponsors one more time before we do that? Beef?
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay. We'd like to thank Sean Tischler and WrestleDeals.com, your home
On Facebook.
on Facebook Your home for fine cabinet fixtures, garage accessories, and no, honestly, Sean, thank you. We let us know when the when the WrestleDeals.com website is fixed. We hope that you don't get mad at us and throw a steel chair at our heads whenever we come up in October to see you. But that said, I also plug that if anybody is going to be in the Clearfield area, Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Because if you're listening to this outside of the Pittsburgh area or outside of Pennsylvania or anything, I doubt you're making the drive to go see an indie show up in freaking Fuck nowhere. But
Yep.
But we'll be up in Clearfield, PA, Saturday, October 12th, for the IWC event that's going on up there, and Sean Tischler definitely has his hands in that. So check out some of his stuff there. And Ransom, you want to go ahead and thank the other sponsor?
You boys are just
No,
gonna love
I
it
don't
up
want to.
here.
Okay, that's all right.
No, Casual Gaming Dad. Check him out on the various platforms, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Twitches.
I love how you make everything sound like you're like this like 50-year-old out of touch old man. Like
Look,
the
I don't-
What do you
the
mean sound
Facebooks.
like?
Oh no,
I don't technology very well.
I know.
So,
technology and Adam,
I'll get you there, sir. I'll get you
Adam,
there.
you mean Adam Cole?
Adam Cole, baby. That's what I said.
So yeah, Casual Gaming Dad, check him out. I love especially the old school stuff. New stuff
Yes.
is good, but man, the old school stuff really takes me back to childhood, and I
We-
love rewatching some of those old games.
I think-
it warms my heart.
I think you were inside. I think we were cleaning up dinner whenever I said this. We didn't get to it before the live show last time, but I have various emulators on the laptop that I have that we were using.
You have various
for the-
legitimate gaming consoles, Tom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Can we? Yeah. We'll cut that out in post. We'll cut that out in post. Boo.
Yo, yeah, I definitely will.
Here we go. Take two. So no,
sounds legit.
I have various video games of old school days of yore, and one game one game that I think that we'll have to definitely play next time. Saturday Night Slam Masters.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Oh boy.
now
Scorp
that's
was my jam in that.
Yes, Scorpio.
Or Alexander the Greater. He was also
The
another good one.
Great-
You know what?
Raider?
I think here's one thing. Real quick, a little aside. I definitely remember you always like, and I think probably home house advantage played a big part of it. But you always had to pick Scorpio or Scorpion or whatever. And I was like, damn it, I always wanted to use him. So I had to settle for like the second rate Scorpio, which was like the El Stingray guy or whatever. So I was like, it brought me such great
El
joy.
Stinko.
Yeah, El Stinko. But no, it brought me such great joy once I was actually one day myself play the game, and I was like, I can finally use him, you son of a bitch. So no.
So listen, before we move on to SummerSlam,
Yeah.
I want to bring something up. Last time we did a thing that wasn't live or a Colorado tie-up.
Right.
We talked about JBL and his incident,
Oh yeah, we
you
did.
know, and what everybody thought about that. So I want to talk real quick, not very long, but just real quick touch and get you guys' opinion on something here. In the past, maybe not a too distant past even. I believe that they were at the time still a publicly traded company. So, you know, it's not just a mom and pop operation. You've got board of directors, you've got an HR department, you've got a bunch of shit whenever you're a publicly traded company.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, since WWE is that, there has been a lot of wrestlers in the past who have maybe been overly stiff, overly tough, maybe taken advantage of some of the younger talent when they came in, because back in the old days, in the old territory days or whatever, that's what you did. That's how
your
you brought
dues.
people in. That's how they paid their dues. That's how you saw if a guy was really going to stick it out. If he was really into it, you beat the hell out of him, legitimately. I mean, they would go in and try to hurt these people. It wasn't a work. They would smack and chop and kick the hell out of somebody to, cut their teeth. So, in the days of a publicly traded company with an HR department, do you think that doesn't happen anymore? Do you think that's still a thing? And if it is, I get it. It's wrestling, but it's not wrestling. It's sports entertainment. You're working for a company. It's no different than working for any other company nowadays, in my opinion, because, you have a work environment. And where does it border, or where does it kind of teeter from, getting a guy cutting their teeth, paying their dues, this, that, and the other thing, and, becoming a hostile work environment? Because it's not MMA. It's not a legit shoot fight. You're not supposed to be beating the hell out of your opponent. It's not wrestling like it is in Japan.
I think.
Where do you guys fall on the whole, hey, this guy's new, I'm going to go into the ring, and I'm going to chop the shit out of him and try to make his chest bleed?
Let's start with, I kind of want to hear Beef's take on this. No offense, Tom. I want to hear Beef's take first.
Oh, no, none taken.
So, I think the last great, carriers of that torch were definitely The Undertaker and Bob Holly. Probably JBL to extent, were like, I mean, you can't, man. And I understand it, and I love the way that Japan does it. I really do. Where you have your young lion stage, your young lion stage.
Stop
where,
choking out, Beef.
Where if you watch the G1, Lance Archer would come out and he would just beat the shit out of all the young lions around the ringside. I get that and I respect that, and that's fine because that is the old way of doing it. But I mean they're a multi-million-dollar company. They do have these things that they have to uphold to. I mean, I think you kind of saw Randy Orton get a little bit into it, not the physicality part, but the whole pranks thing, when he was like pooping in people's bags and things of that nature. So, I mean, I understand if it happens, but I don't think it happens anymore. I think if it happens, it's because the producers say, go out there and beat the shit out of each other. They say to Brock Lesnar, I want you to hit him. Or
Beef stroking out.
To an agreement. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're chopping out a bit there.
Okay, sorry. I think if it happens now, it's because the producers want it to happen. They say, okay, Brock, do this, or okay, Joe, do this. Not because it's, okay, let's get this guy his licks for being a new guy.
So it's not, you don't think it's that individual's call. Like, it's not a JBL or a Hardcore Holly saying, you know what, I'm gonna see how tough this kid actually is, and go into business for himself or take liberties on his own.
I don't, not anymore. No, man.
I can agree. I can see and agree with that because, I think a really good example of that, would be the real life drama that there was between Edge and Matt Hardy. I'm sure Vince had to sit down and probably have a talk with them and say, listen, if you guys need to work a little stiff, that's fine. But if I see, any sort of specific injury, if I see that you're not working safe, if I see you're not trying to protect the guy, on a suplex or a brain buster or something like that or whatever, then you're in deep shit. But, if you want to be a little stiff with one another, as far as a punch or a chop, go at it sort of thing. I don't know. I agree with Beef on that sense where I think it's going to be a producer's call sort of thing. As far as whether or not, what I think as far as the culture of that, it kind of, I'll draw a parallel here. Whenever I got to my duty station in the Marine Corps, you'd hear guys saying, well, back in the old Corps, this would be different. I'm like, okay, listen, I don't agree with, just putting somebody's career and health in danger. Like I said, you got to make sure to still protect one another out there. But if somebody were to work a little stiff, say put a little extra sauce on that chop or something, that I'm okay with, because a chop is one thing, but if you're not gonna protect them when you go to drop them for a DDT or something like that, or something where it's without trying to get too technical into it, but if I'm doing a move to ransom and part of the move is me protecting him to make sure that he doesn't get hurt on it, and I don't protect him on purpose. That I don't agree with. But putting a little extra sauce on a chop or something, I'm okay with that. I think the way they do it and just the change with the times and probably what happens now is somebody that hasn't been around for a while, is going to basically, they're not going to necessarily get, they're not going to get their licks in the ring or something. They're just not going to get put in the ring. They're going to get buried that way. And that's how the person's, that's how the older people are going to be like, nope, you haven't earned your way into this spot yet. That's how they're going to, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that, but.
Poot, have you weighed in on this?
No, I have not. I was biding my time.
All right, go ahead.
There are two incidences that come to mind for an argument why this should not happen. Number one is the Acolytes, or APA, versus Public Enemy. Public Enemy got brought into WWE, and they were having I guess a street fight or a hardcore match or something with the APA. It was something to do with Bradshaw and Farouk, and they had this table spot set up at the end of the match. Well, right before they go out, Public Enemy said, hey, we're cutting basically the close of the match. They basically said, hey, we're not doing the table spot, which was the finish. Like they said, hey, we're not doing that. And Public Enemy's music hit. They walked out right after telling the APA, mind you, who they are. Say what you want about Bradshaw, but he's been in the business for nigh on to God knows how long. And Farouk was the first African-American, WCW champion?
Yes.
And
NWA
champion.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, you're right. And yeah.
You don't tell them what to do 5 seconds before the match starts.
Yeah.
So they went out there and they gave him the business. Whether it was good to do that or not, who am I to say? I'm not in the business. However, I think that's one example where they went and beat the shit out of them. Like, if you've never watched that, shame on you, because it is a sight. It is an absolute sight.
Real quick on that, I do have a question. Was it on a weekly show or was it on a pay-per-view?
It was on Raw.
Okay.
It was on Raw.
It was on
I'm
Raw.
going to have to go back and find that because I feel like I don't remember that for some reason. So
I don't remember. I remember hearing about that match on somebody's podcast, but I don't remember watching it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it was.
Is it obvious? Is it obvious?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and there was a lot of there was a lot of malice between like wrestlers in WWE and like ECW guys, because a lot of guys in WWE felt like ECW guys were just glorified stuntmen, so they didn't deserve the shot anyway. Especially bigger guys like Public Enemy, who really didn't offer too much in the form of technical wrestling, so like that kind of thing didn't help.
Okay, but go on, Poot.
Thank you. But that's one way that you teach it. But there was that they didn't hold up to that; they were fired. And then the other one, and this is like going on the respect issue. Now I know you're talking about hazing. I think to answer your question, but there's another example I want to put out there. To answer your question, I think a lot of these guys get that on the indies, but it's more respect. If there is a problem and someone like beats the shit out of someone legitimately in the ring, or they go into business for themselves, guess what happens? That person doesn't get booked and they don't have a career in wrestling, because you're putting another person's life and body in your hands. They're trusting you to do that, and you're betraying that trust. No one will book you, not even for a hot dog and a handshake. Okay?
Right.
So the other example of going into business for yourself and why it's not okay, the incident down south with Sexy Star. Do you guys remember that?
That was like within the last year or two, right?
2 years ago.
2 years. Yep.
It was 2 years ago, and Sexy Star put, who was it? It was not.
I don't even remember who it was, but
it was the goth. What's her name?
Daphne. Daphne. It was Daphne.
It was Daphne. Put Daphne in a legit armbar, like an absolute shoot armbar, and like basically went into business for herself. For the end of the match, and like really hurt Daphne. Not to the point where she couldn't work, but she definitely had to like take time off. And ever since then, Sexy Star, who was arguably one of the most famous women's wrestlers in the world, most popular, up and coming, like
she was huge.
Like she had. I watched her work in Lucha Underground, and she was awesome, absolutely amazing.
She was the first. She was the first women's world champion that I can think of.
Yep.
In Lucha Underground.
But anyway, now where is she?
Nowhere.
You might see her occasionally on an indie show or something like that, but after that happened, it's like, well, you're just going to be pumping the indies for the rest of your careir.
Oh, is she blackballed?
Pretty much.
Persona non grata. Oh
Yep.
yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Because pay, like you said, Poop, paying your dues is one thing, taking chops and punches and stuff, but like going into business for yourself, like when Sting did it with Jeff Hardy, that was a power move because he could, and because Jeff Hardy was being unsafe.
Well, that
was an order, and also Jeff Hardy was fucked beyond belief.
Yeah, that was a totally different
thing. Didn't Bischoff tell
Right.
him to do that?
Yes.
Like, but didn't Bischoff say, pin him, get him out of the ring?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
and absolutely that in that case that was absolutely
And that was the right move,
call.
100%.
Yeah, because
And Sting didn't do anything to hurt Jeff Hardy. Sting basically gave him a finisher, which Sting has given multiple times, and
didn't let him kick out.
And pretty much just rolled him up and held him there. He didn't He didn't take liberties and hurt somebody.
Exactly right, and he didn't go out of his way to try to embarrass Jeff even further or anything like that. He just they got him out of there as fast as they could, which was the right call because he was in no shape to be anywhere near the ring or anything like that. So I want to go ahead and jump into SummerSlam now that Ransom, do you have a take on that or no? I couldn't. I didn't remember if you got a chance to chime in there.
I'll make it quick since we need to get into SummerSlam, but I understand the traditions set forth in the old days of professional wrestling, back when it was professional wrestling. I understand that, but in a line of work now where you have wellness policies, you have HR departments, it's people hedging their lives on this. Like, this is what they want to do for their life. In my opinion, I don't see that, and it's, I'm not one of those, pussy people who are, everything needs to be fair for everybody and, boo-hoo this and boo-hoo that. No, that's not me.
Definitely not Ransom.
But at the same time, like, I feel you're in a business, you're going to work. Like, it's your 9 to 5. You're going to work. You're going to collect a paycheck. You're going to make a living. And when you do that, you need to have some sort of governing body like an HR department setting standards and saying, here's a list of things that you cannot do. I can't walk into work and slap a coworker in the face. I understand I'm not in the professional wrestling or sports entertainment business, but at the same token, I don't see there being any difference in, pretty much basically assaulting somebody and then using the excuse of, hey, I'm a veteran and they're a nobody and, they need to pay their dues or they need to cut their teeth or I need to see if they can take it.
Exactly.
It's not that way anymore. You can't go and just do these type of things. And I don't even agree with the whole, Randy Orton shitting in people's bags. Like, hey man,
that's a bit much.
Don't shit in my stuff, dude. Like,
that's a health hazard.
Not only that, this is my personal property. You can't do that. That's my take on it.
Why don't we get Bill DeMont to chime in on this?
Oh Jesus!
But anyway, so SummerSlam.
So like we were mentioning, the first half of the SummerSlam card was pretty underwhelming to say the least. One thing, and as much as hold on. I'm gonna touch on this, and this might be what you're gonna ask, but man, as much as I hate to fucking talk about Goldberg, I just gotta ask, who the fuck did Dolph Ziggler piss off? Because that was overkill in that end of the match.
It's part
there.
of his new angle. It's part of his new gimmick. Apparently, I'm
bad.
waiting for him
It
to
was
just
bad.
go, Dolph Ziggler likes pain, and do a gimp thing with him.
Oh,
It
ew.
was terrible. No,
I
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Ransom.
sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, I just wanted
I have
real
something to say
quick.
about the Dolph Ziggler thing, so go ahead.
Yeah, no. You do that. Yeah, if you because this is something altogether different. So go ahead with that.
Okay. I don't know. Throughout his career, I have no idea who Dolph Ziggler wronged in that company, and I
John Cena.
honestly have no
honestly.
idea. He's not there anymore.
Because
Like, why?
did you-
Why is he still getting punished for something he did to John Cena?
Who knows?
I don't understand the shit booking of Dolph Ziggler.
I don't either.
Can't wrap my brain around this. He is golden on the mic. He is golden in the ring. He is crisp. He is one of those people that could legitimately have
He
been the next, gimmick character Shawn Michaels.
he sells like nobody's fucking business.
He
and
sells like
and
Shawn Michaels sold.
and-
When
yeah,
Shawn
and he-
Michaels fought big guys like Sid and Diesel and Vader, Shawn
And he
sold
doesn't
the hell out of that.
And he doesn't oversell it like how Shawn did with Hogan in that. No, but
I
he
don't get it. I don't
he
understand.
sells so well.
He does.
I
I
wish-
want Dolph Ziggler to leave the WWE because I
Give it
don't
time.
think he's going to get. He's not going to get the push that I believe he deserves, and I could be completely missing the mark here. Dolph Ziggler could be a trash bag in real life and could just be, an absolute horrid human being backstage. Maybe that's
Well,
why
he is
he's
a
buried
Browns
so much.
fan, so
It infuriates me. It infuriates me because for me, it's like booking a Shawn Michaels or an Edge or a Johnny Gargano or an Adam Cole like you're booking Dolph Ziggler. I think Dolph Ziggler can stand with any of those guys as far as in-ring talent and mic skill. And it
Absolutely.
makes me angry to see throughout his career. It's not just a new thing for Dolph Ziggler. Throughout his career, he's been shit on. And I have no earthly idea why he still stays in the WWE. Maybe they're paying him a buttload of money, or maybe this is his
They are
idea.
paying him
Maybe-
a buttload of money.
Maybe
Yeah.
he just wants
Yeah,
to
but-
be that guy that constantly gets beat up and constantly loses. I have no idea. I want him to go to AEW because I think he would get a mega star of a push.
even so, like, yes, Poot, you're right. They gave him a metric fuck ton of money. What, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when his contract came up in the summer, and I hope that his contract is coming up soon because I bet going back in time, I bet you he regrets signing that contract, knowing that they were going to fuck him around like this. Because he could have been huge in Japan. He could have been huge in Ring of Honor. He could have been huge in PWG. He would have been huge in AEW, and I think he still will. Because he has a lot of miles left in the car.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
I
god,
want to
yes.
slip in. I want to slip in a real quick legendary letdown here. The match that I thought was going to be absolutely a banger and a great match was just not good, and that's AJ Styles versus Ricochet.
Oh,
Told you so. Sorry.
I've ever since, so like I remember going back and watching it on Raw, a couple months ago and saying, okay, here it is, and I was like, huh, well there it was, and then they had a second match on Raw, I'm like, okay, and then nothing, and I was like, okay, well this is their shot, maybe they're gonna finally click. It just wasn't there for those two. There was no anything between them, and it sucks because they're two great entertainers, probably two of the best in-ring competitors today, and it was just flat. And I don't know if it's because of the style of match that they work with the injury angle, or with it being like a 9-minute match, or I don't know if maybe there's just nothing between them. But man, I was so disappointed.
Yeah. So like we said, that match and a lot of the first half of the card was pretty disappointing from what you would expect from the quote unquote second biggest pay-per-view of the big four coming out of WWE. But moving on to the latter half of the card, Charlotte versus Trish, I thought excellent match.
Definitely.
What's your take there, Poop?
what I thought was like of the whole, or like what was a letdown?
No,
Charlotte,
either.
Charlotte and Trish.
Well, I was gonna say
Charlotte and
Trish.
Trish. Charlotte and Trish. I'm like, it did what it needed to do. I mean, like, honestly, it's nice seeing a legend actually give the rub to a younger talent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it. Like, honestly, to me, like, I'm sorry. You could ask me about any match on this card, and I'm gonna go, it was okay. But the Fiend debuting,
We'll get there.
I
get
know,
there.
but
We'll
that's
get
the
there.
thing. Everything else on the event, I enjoyed it. It was a good event. I don't feel like I wasted my time. I had a great. I loved the matches. Like, there was nothing that I went, ugh. Yeah, AJ Styles Ricochet could have been better, but Beef, to be fair, they're working this whole OC angle now, so they got to have all that schmoz crap. The thing that upset me, that did upset me more so than having a less than ideal AJ Styles Ricochet match, the thing that let me down was we got a dusty finish, baby, with the legacy belt.
Yeah,
I understand they're building a long story with that, but just come on.
Man,
even
that
the
sucked so
crowd,
hard.
the crowd,
They shit all over it.
oh, resoundingly bullshit. And
What was this? What was it?
Kofi
Orton versus
Orton.
Kofi, the double
okay.
count out. And how about that count, man? Like, they were like, if you count real seconds and like an actual count out match, it's like 20, 25, 30 between, before an actual count out. There was like legit probably less than 15 seconds with them both on the outside of the ring. It was a fucking terrible match. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, terrible finish to a good match. Realistically, there are two things to talk about from SummerSlam. One, the Fiend's debut. Two, the Rollins Brock Lesnar match actually being a decent match and being the match that Rollins deserved.
Let's talk about that. And I want to start by saying, by what you had said in the chat, Beef, about this is the match that should have happened at WrestleMania. And I thought about it a little bit more after we talked about it. And if going forward, they knew that this is what they were going to do with having Rollins beat him at WrestleMania, then dropping it, then regaining it, I actually think it was best that they saved this match for now, because it built it up so much more. Like he barely squeaked by getting the title off of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. It was a steal. It was quote unquote the heist of the century, almost. And then he lost it to Brock. Brock turned the tables on him and said, "Okay, you want to barely squeeze by, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you for it, and then I'm going to steal it right back off of you because of the Money in the Bank contract." And then, we saw Rollins get, knocked down and, just beat the shit out of, and then he amazingly comes back out and, gets this. So I think this being the match that it fit well for the overall big picture looking back on it. But regardless, I'm just happy that it wasn't the same formulaic Brock Lesnar bullshit. And I'm so glad I was wrong on that. Not necessarily for the prediction picks, because obviously, that's one less for me and definitely one less for Madman Ransom over there. But I was very happy with this match. I was thoroughly surprised. I did not expect Rollins to get it back, and I was just happy to see a good match and not a Brock Lesnar squash fest.
Go ahead, Ransom. I know you're sitting over there biting your tongue, waiting to tell us how much you hated the match. So please, I can't wait to hear it.
The best part of that match for me was Paul Heyman's face.
Agreed.
That face where he looked at Brock Lesnar like you want your girl to look at you.
Yeah.
That was the best. That was the best part of that match for me. I don't know. I was disappointed with the match, and here's why. For the past how many years has Brock Lesnar been this unstoppable, monstrous force? The Undertaker, John Cena, Triple H, AJ Styles, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Roman frickin' Reigns. How many people have just been run over by Brock Lesnar? And now you've got somebody the size of Seth Rollins coming in and twice in 1 year beating him clean for the title. No dirty tricks. No antics.
WrestleMania.
Whoa, let the
not
man
clean.
finish. Let the man finish.
What did he do at WrestleMania? Did he hit him with a chair? Did he give him what did he do?
The tables and the dick kicks. Like, he kicked him like 3 times in the dick before the match started, and he put him through like 2 tables before the match even started.
Because remember, you had even said, be like, well, he's supposed to be a face. Why is he using heel tactics?
All right. So that explains that match.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like, okay, for all this time, Brock Lesnar has been this unstoppable monster. This just, nobody can beat him. Your biggest heroes, and John Cena, and The Undertaker, and Roman Reigns, they can't do it. Now Seth Rollins can do it twice in 1 year. Meh. It turns Brock Lesnar to me into somebody who can be beaten, not an unstoppable force, not the big Brock Lesnar guy. It turns, the more and I get it, he can't win all the time, sure, whatever, blah, blah. The more he loses, the more it turns into the, well, The Undertaker lost once at WrestleMania, so it doesn't matter how many more times he loses at WrestleMania, who cares?
All right.
And yet you have no problem with Shawn Michaels, like, beating Vader. Like, Vader, the guy who dominated WCW. Vader, the guy who dominated Japan.
Yeah, but you're comparing apples and oranges. His run in WCW and over in Japan was disgustingly huge. When he got brought to WWF, oh, man.
That was his first big
buried
match.
the piss out of him.
That was Vader's first big match.
Yeah, I know. And McMahon buried the piss out of him because he
wasn't
wasn't a homegrown guy.
Exactly.
I guess.
Anyway,
that's fair.
So,
To be fair, I don't see a fair comparison between Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins. I don't see it. Shawn Michaels was whatever. I'm not going to go into it because it's just going to be me singing Shawn Michaels' praises. But I don't see the full comparison between Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins. I don't think that there is a comparison there.
So do you have anything to add on to this real quick, Poop? Because if not, I have one last point.
Real fast, I do, and also I have a request. Okay, the first thing, my thing is, it's a David and Goliath story. Rollins, he won with dirty tricks at Mania. As Beef said, honestly, this is the win he should have had at Mania, and then they shouldn't have had a rematch here. They should have built another story.
Bingo.
Anyway,
Bingo.
But it's a David and Goliath story, man. Who doesn't love that? Like, I mean, that's all it was. I mean, it was really good for a Brock Lesnar match. It was really good. There was high drama. People were into it. So whatever. Like, that's all it was to me. So it was kind of like, all right, that was fine. Again, it was the rest of the card. It's like, it was good. It was fine. But then my request is, for Hot Tag Trivia, I want to ask Beef.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
All right, cool.
And then the point I was going to make, I think the only reason why necessarily that they had Rollins win here at this time is because I think, like we had talked about, I think Brock is probably going to make the move over to SmackDown at some point, which the only hang up I have with that is Heyman is going to be, quote unquote, like running Raw behind the scenes, but then he's going to show up on SmackDown as an on-screen character. I don't know how that's all going to work. We can table that for another discussion.
I think we should.
Let's move into the best thing about SummerSlam.
Oh, Yowie,
the fucking Fiend Bray Wyatt. Yowie, fucking Wowie. Holy shit. Poot, take the floor with this, because I know you've been salivating, man.
Man, okay. So the first thing I did, because unfortunately on Sunday I was busy with band practice, so I had to go back and watch SummerSlam. So when I got home, I ignored the chat that we have, our group chat, but I opened up the chat window, and the first thing I see is, holy shit, this is the best thing WWE has done in decades and forever. So my thing was, I gotta watch this. So I get home, I clean up and get ready for bed. I put it on, and I scroll through the bullshitty, laggy, not loading thing, and I found it, and I watched the preview. Balor coming out in white, and the way they framed him in the ring with the light right behind his head, given that halo. You know what I mean? It's good guy Balor. I loved it. It was probably
that was beautifully done.
It was probably inadvertent, or maybe it was a really good camera guy. You know what I mean? But then, like the kickoff to the Firefly Funhouse, I'm like, we're gonna get a promo before, and it all runs down. The feeling that
I'm
I
getting
got
goosebumps already.
when that
man.
music hit that, and I'm like, oh, what music are they going to use? Like, for me, that was a big thing because Bray Wyatt wanted to use Unsainted by Slipknot off the new album, which is a banger, by the way. Go listen to the new album. It's great.
I'll have to check it out.
But then you see, what's that light? Oh, it's the lantern. And it zooms in and you, I'm sitting here and I'm like giddy. Like,
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps again.
And then how everything was so deliberate. The walk, and then hearing by the way, Code Orange does the remix of that song.
Are you serious?
That's Code
Yeah,
Orange.
Pittsburgh local.
Pittsburgh's
Yeah, man.
own Code Orange.
Yeah, man.
right.
Yes.
That's Code
Oh
Orange.
my god.
They also,
That's awesome.
I think they also did Aleister Black's music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they
I'll
played
have
it
to look into
live
that.
at the One Takeover.
Oh, yeah, they did. Okay,
yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
But so Code Orange did that, and how they did that, that heavy thing. By the way, do you know what they were chanting? Whenever that heavy guitar,
Hurt heel.
and then it, and that like fall away, like dissonant pit. It set the mood. Everything. Go on. I could keep gushing.
I
You
know.
guys go ahead.
I will say this. So I had a couple friends over that they were just coming over just to hang out and play video games, and for me to give video games back to my one buddy because I had a whole bunch of his PS3 games that I never got around to playing. And I said to him, I was like, well, I'm gonna have wrestling on kind of in the background, because I thought we were gonna be playing some Mario Kart and Mario Party and shit, and I was just gonna have the laptop set up off to the side, and I'd be kind of glancing over. We ended up watching a good bit of SummerSlam, as it were. But so we were finishing up a game of Mario Party. I had the laptop on, and I'm like half paying attention to the game and more so to this. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, oh my god, this is so fucking good. And my girlfriend, who is as to steal Ransom's catchphrase / JR's, well documented on the podcast there as not being a wrestling fan by any means. She loves the Bray Wyatt character just because she loves the scary shit. And she's like, oh, wow, this is really good. And I was like, I know. And I actually, like, after the match was over and we finished our Mario Party game, I was probably about 8 minutes behind because I had to rewind. So, like, I was 8 minutes behind on the Brock Lesnar Seth Rollins match at the end. We went back and watched. I said to my friends, I was like, you have to fucking watch this. And we rewound it and watched the Bray entrance again just to show them. Like, and I was like, this is so fucking good. And I'm sitting there, and again, like, as we were just talking about it right now, and same thing, whenever I was sitting there watching again with my girl, I look at her and I show her my arm, and I was like, I'm a fucking child. I was like, this is so good. Like, everything was perfect about that. And now they just have to continue off of that.
Well, and so here's real quick, the one thing I go ahead, Tom.
The fact that they had I was very glad it wasn't a squash. I was very happy about that because we knew any smart fan knows that Bray's going to go over. Okay, let's just put that out there. We knew Bray was going to go over coming in. You had all these vignettes building him up so strong. It's important that he wins. But I was very glad that they didn't just like 8-second squash or something like that. And I thought it was so fucking awesome that they let him use the mandible claw, number one, and number two, that he caught Finn coming off the top rope with it or whatever, like countered and then put him in it. Oh my god, I'm gonna go back and fucking watch it again tonight after we're done recording. Go on, Beef.
Well, and so here's the thing, like, I was very skeptical at the very beginning. I remember doing the Raw review and thinking that this is the worst thing ever. What have they done to Bray Wyatt? And I was very skeptical because I felt like they were going to get some point.
You mean at the beginning of all the Firefly
Funhouse?
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. We remember you saying that. Yeah.
So like I remember thinking they're going to get cold feet and they're going to pull out, and they probably still might. But so far, this has been fucking wicked. And I'm telling you what, like, Bray Wyatt has always kind of rode that line of like almost a cult horror figure. And I think that The Fiend is 100% his tribute to, like, the 80s horror classic. Because everything from the lantern to his gait walking down the ring to the music, to the presentation of his entrance,
The head twitching,
the way
the
he
tilting.
looks, the head tilt.
Wait.
Kill me, man. When he stood in the corner and did the slow, like the Jason Voorhees head tilt, man, I fucking lost it. The fucking neck snap. That neck snap he did to Finn Balor.
Oh.
Like there was just so much that I'm like, man, you can tell that Bray Wyatt, that the Wyndham Rotunda is a big horror movie fan, because this was like his tribute to that. And as long as they continue to let him roll with that, I think that we are in for something magical.
Real quick, how about when at one point when he was there in the ring and he kind of looked like he was like twitching out because like maybe like, you know, the Fiend and Bray's inner personalities were like clashing. Oh my god, the little nuances were so good.
Whenever he got to the, and I'm sorry, Ransom, we're kind of taking over. I'm sorry. The thing that got me was when he set the lantern on the edge of the ring. And he stood there with his hands up by his head, and he's standing there kind of shaking, and his head twitches. And then he just, like, the way he turned and walked towards the steps. Oh, it's pitch perfect. And how about that fucking lantern?
That was amazing.
That is the stuff.
I gotta hear Ransom. I gotta hear Ransom's takes on this because the three of us, I'm sure, could go on forever about this. But Ransom, please indulge us.
I don't have really anything more to say. You guys covered it. The only things that I'm going to touch on and say regarding this is this, you know, do you think the Fiend is going to be like Finn and the Demon? Does he wrestle as Bray Wyatt? Does he wrestle in the sweater vest? Or does he, you know, wrestle in that sweater? Does he Bray Wyatt for weekly televisions for smaller pay-per-views? Or is it anytime he steps in the ring, he's the Fiend?
So to be fair, let me cap this here. That's a good discussion for next week, because we're getting very long in the tooth here.
Yeah.
And because there are a million questions I have about the fallout from SummerSlam. What happens with Bray? What happens with the Fiend? What happens with Rollins? And I think that those topics deserve their own time frames. So I don't want to rush through a discussion about Bray Wyatt and the Fiend going forward. I think that we can just should focus on what we saw.
We're also recording this. We're recording this on Tuesday during SmackDown, so we'll go back and watch SmackDown. We'll have more to chew on for next week.
Right.
So the only other thing I'll say with Bray Wyatt and the Fiend is, as good as it was, time will tell.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Time will tell what they do with him. I don't want to get too overly excited. The three of you are busting your nuts.
I am.
And losing your shit. And you've got this, big Bray Wyatt, the Fiend WWE boner going on right now. But you've seen how fast a character in WWE and the WWE boner immediately turns flaccid and runs back up inside of you, because that's how terrible it is.
You shut your mouth. I have the blue pills of justice.
Hey, who's this impersonator impersonating me? I'll do whatever I want with the Fiend. You just, I can.
So
And
time
he
will tell.
strikes.
I hope he becomes not the next Undertaker, but I hope he's the next, phenomenal character.
Agreed.
I'm really, really hoping so, but I'm not going to get too overly excited and too giddy and too crazy over it until a year from now. We're talking about how awesome the Fiend still is. I'll save it for then.
I agree with that. For as much as I've been salty about a lot of what WWE has been doing, it's very easy for me to get excited about this, because this is the best thing that I've seen in a while out of WWE, for them to just go all in on it. But let's end the discussion of that. Hold on. Oh, go ahead.
Before we jump into hot tag trivia,
yeah,
I do want to say this.
I was going to say we'll close the note on a positivity of everything that's been going right with the Bray Wyatt and the SummerSlam debut. So go ahead, B.
No. But this is more along that positive note.
Yeah.
So Ransom, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But I think that we as smarks, and yes, we are smarks. We are smart fans. So
you wouldn't guess it by our prediction record.
I was gonna say, right? SummerSlam we did okay. Anyway,
yeah, we did.
We tend to think too long term. sometimes we just have to kind of dial it back and enjoy the moment and not worry about what's going to happen next week, next month, next year. Enjoy the moment in front of us. And I think that that's what made Bray Wyatt so awesome at SummerSlam, is because for a second, for just the briefest of moments, I forgot maybe they'll fuck him up in 2 months.
Maybe.
I was in the moment, and I was like, and I got goosebumps, and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. So I think sometimes we need to take some time and just kind of go one moment at a time and just enjoy what we got in front of us.
I agree. So speaking of things that we enjoy and that are right in front of us, we got some hot tag trivia.
Do we have a Stump the Chumps this week?
We don't.
That's
We
okay.
blew a wad on the live show. The Maniac hasn't gotten back to us for another one, so hopefully for next week.
That's all right. That's that it helped out well because I don't think any of us had any regular planned out hot tag trivia. We kind of had the fast count trivia on the live show,
which was awesome.
Which was really good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. So that said, if you guys haven't already, make sure you go back and catch the live podcast from this past Saturday with our NXT and SummerSlam predictions. Obviously, we all know it's already come to pass, but enjoy the dumpster fire of a live show and the beers, because there were
beers.
Yeah. And like we said on the podcast, Poot said it best. When you go back and if you do watch the live show, I will say this, and I wholeheartedly agree with Poot. It wasn't just because of the beers. We were just genuinely having a great fucking time. So
that is true.
And we do with or without the beers, and with or without us being on for the moment or anything like that, if that makes sense to you all. So with that said, we got some hot tag trivia here. I believe Beef said he wanted to ask me, and Poot wanted to ask Beef. So I'm guessing it's gonna go Poot to Beef, Beef to me to Ransom, Ransom to Poot. Correct?
That is incorrect.
Was that
What?
And I'll tell you why
a
little bit later.
Yeah,
So-
something about Ransom putting something on the line.
Oh, something's on the line tonight, and it might not please Mr. Cruiserweight Champion in the slightest.
Oh.
So we'll do.
Gasp.
What was the lineup? Did you say?
Well, Beef wanted to Beef requested to ask me, and Poot requested to ask Beef. So the natural order.
That's going to be Tom then asking Poot.
Wait, no, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. Wait. Poot went. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Poot,
Wait. What work am I part of here? What is this?
So Ransom is not going to be part of the traditional roundup in Hot Tag Trivia.
Okay.
So leave Ransom out of this roundup of Hot Tag Trivia. Ransom has a question for the three of you after the traditional Hot Tag Trivia is over. And that is when Ransom puts something on the line.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Wow.
So me to Tom, Tom to Poot, Poot to me.
All right.
Okay. Well, go ahead and kick it off, Beef.
All right. So Tom.
Yep.
Now we're past SummerSlam, so I can't ask more SummerSlam questions. So
You could.
Let's talk.
be
I
fair.
could, but I'm not gonna. To be fair.
Hey, Ransom.
But I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna mute you for the interim.
I won't talk, so that's fine.
Okay.
So let's talk about coming up on the 31st of August. Along with our live show, we have All Out and NXT UK Cardiff and New Japan Royal Quest all on the same day. Fucking A. So let's talk about NXT UK.
Okay.
So this is the second NXT takeover that's happened. The first one was earlier this year in January. I want you to tell me the 3 title matches and who won them.
Oh fuck if I know. I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really start watching NXT UK on the regular till like probably right around whenever I started paying attention and then subsequently joining the podcast with you guys. But all right, so the 3 title matches. Okay, if I remember correctly, well, in no particular order, one of them was Walter versus Dunn, and Walter was the winner of that one. That's one, right?
That is incorrect. Walter versus Dunn happened at NXT Takeover before Mania.
Oh, well, fuck me. Okay, well, that was wrong.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. Because that. Okay, damn it. That's right. Because that was the
this
one
is
UK
Takeover
match.
Blackpool.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
Takeover Blackpool,
Okay,
correct.
sorry. Yeah. Okay, so that didn't happen. So okay, so who the fuck? Well, so Pete Dunne was the champ still. So who the hell did he face? Blackpool. Fuck, who the fuck did Pete Dunne face? I've the one I'll say was the Grizzled Young Vets versus Mustache Mountain for the tag titles.
You are right about that one. Who won?
Oh, Grizzled Young Vets.
They did indeed, yes, sir.
Okay, so I knew that one because the Grizzled Young Vets have been holding on to those titles since. That, correct me if I'm wrong, was that was like a tournament match or something, wasn't it, or end of tournament sort of thing?
It was, yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I thought because I remember the Grizzled Young Vets saying that they were the first NXT UK Tag Champions, and then they had said that they beat the Mustache Mountain. So okay, making sure I had my eggs in one basket there. And then the other one would have been, well, the only other title in the UK would have been the women's match. Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley. So Toni Storm would have won, right?
That is correct as well.
Okay.
Who, you want to help him out with the one he's missing?
Pete Dunne versus who?
It was Pete Dunne versus, I believe, Joe Coffey.
You are correct, sir.
And
Thank
Pete
you.
Dunne
We
won
know
that one.
Yeah,
Pete
yeah.
Dunne did win that one.
Pete
So
Dunne-
yeah,
okay.
a little bit of recent history here, getting primed for NXT Cardiff, which should be a decent card. But yeah, good job, you two.
How absolutely badass is Gallus, by the way? All right, go on.
Yes.
Pretty great. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so my question, for Poot here. So we talked about the things that we liked and didn't like about SummerSlam, and one thing that we kind of bitched about beforehand, before the SummerSlam pay-per-view, was the lack of the IC title and either one of the tag team titles being featured on SummerSlam at all. Although we did get a last-minute women's tag team booking, so there was
Okay.
that. So my question has to do with tag team titles. How many times, and this is across all different companies' brands, through ECW, WWF/WWE, and everything else, how many times have the Dudley Boys been tag team champions?
Across all?
Yes.
Well, okay. I know it's not. Holy shit, Tom.
Yeah.
All right,
a little
let's
bit of a banger for you there.
It's not even a banger. Good lord. I'm gonna guess just shot in the dark because I know it's. Good God. 20.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Pretty close. They have won. Actually, well, I won't give anybody else a chance. We'll just get on with it because we're running a little over. They have won 23 World Tag Team titles in their careers. Now here we go. A number that no other team in the modern era can match. 8 titles were won in ECW, which was a record there. 10 in WWF/WWE, including a record 8 World Tag Team Championships and 1 WCW tag title reign. That was all in the WWF.
Yeah.
That was in the WWF/WWE umbrella. Okay. 3 runs in TNA and, to wet Beef's whistle, 2 in New Japan.
Huh.
I had no idea they won the New Japan titles.
Neither did I.
I have learned something today. I like
Yeah.
that. Good question, Tom.
That was
Thank
a
you.
great question.
And you know what? Literally, that was a last minute fucking thing. 'Cause I knew I wanted to ask something about tag titles, and thankfully, I was able to stumble upon that. So, thank you, Google.
All right, we've been talking about SummerSlam, how awesome they are. Beef, we're going to roll back the clock 20 years to 1999. Okay? And SummerSlam 1999, a lot of really great matches on there. There was Ken Shamrock defeated Steve Blackman in the Lion's Den weapons match. Test defeated Shane McMahon in a Greenwich Street fight. Oh, what a classic.
Oh, boy.
The Rock defeated Billy Gunn in a Kiss My Ass match. And there was Mankind defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H for the WWF Championship. Great, awesome, right? Jesse Ventura, special guest referee. Now, there was another match on there. It was called the Tag Team Turmoil match, Beef. I don't know if you remember it or not. So it was basically like an elimination match. I want what do you call it? Almost like a gauntlet, right?
Okay.
Okay. I want the 6 teams that were involved and who won.
Fuck. All right. 1999. All right. So I'm going to talk through it. So I think it was probably the Outlaws, almost for sure. I would say there's probably... No, maybe... No, we'll come back around to that. The APA... I'm betting that Taka and Funaki were in there somewhere. I'm betting that Too Cool was in there somewhere.
That's 3.
That's 4.
Well, okay. I didn't know if you were still including the Outlaws or not, because...
Oh, yeah, no. The Outlaws, the APA are pretty much sure of. Too Cool, I'm fairly confident on. Kai and Tai, I'm pretty confident on. I'm on the fence about a nation team. Maybe Mark Henry and Godfather, perhaps. And I think the 6th team may be the Headbangers, because I get a weird feeling about that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go Headbangers, Kai and Tai, the New Age Outlaws, the APA, and the Nation of Domination. I believe it was Mark Henry and the Godfather. And I would say that the Outlaws won.
All right. Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. So you technically got 1.
Oh, my. Only 1. Oh, geez.
You technically got one of the teams. I was going to be like, you got 0 of them, but that's honestly not fair. You technically got 1. The APA was in there, but they were the Acolytes at this point.
Right.
So the other 5 teams were Edge and Christian, the New Brood, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy with Gangrel, Midian and Viscera, Draws and Prince Albert, and the Holly Cousins.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's the way.
Them.
Edge and Christian were the first team in. Okay. And then where there was Edge and Christian eliminated Midian and Viscera. They then eliminated Draws and Prince Albert. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. My fault. It was Edge and Christian eliminated Draws and Prince Albert, Midian and Viscera, the New Brood. Okay. Then the Acolytes eliminated Edge and Christian, and then the Holly Cousins eliminated the Acolytes. So the the Acolytes then eliminated the Holly Cousins. The Acolytes won.
Huh.
Yeah. So there you go. It was kind of an oddball thing. Threw it out there. Now, I'm sorry. We're going to gloss over that. That was a really hard question. Ransom, what is happening?
Did you mute my mic because that you get from me, or because you just didn't want me talking?
No, it was because I was building suspense.
Okay. Okay. Here we go, you idiots. We are going off of a point system.
Oh.
For every correct answer, you get a point. And whoever, at the end of this, has the most points will win the advocacy of Alec Ransom.
Ooh.
I'm putting the advocacy on the line.
Okay.
So I guess you could technically
So an
say
advocate
Poot.
for you?
No, I'm technically Poot is putting the advocacy on the line because whoever wins this, I become their advocate.
Wow.
Oh no, I can't
Fantastic.
lose my
God,
advocate.
I almost want to throw this just to have Ransom advocate for Beef because I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
I'm
But
down.
I won't.
Let's fucking do this.
I gotta keep my advocate. I'll try and make you proud. Go ahead, advocate.
All right, so here we go. This is on Scout's Honor. No cheating.
All
Yeah.
right.
Now, is this going to be like a one at a time thing, or like is there a certain order that we're going to get asked in or be able to reply in? So it's not just chaos of us one trying to yell over one another.
Yes, it's going to be that.
Okay.
It's going to go. Tom answers first. Beef answers second. Poot answers third. Because Tom has yet to be a Cruiserweight champion. Beef is a former Cruiserweight champion, and champion's prerogative. Champion goes last.
All
Okay.
right.
So
Let's do it.
this has to do with the WWE Tag Team Championships.
Now, okay, go ahead.
Now, this is not counting ECW, not counting WCW, not counting Raw, and not counting SmackDown. This is strictly WWF, WWE, WWWF.
Oh,
Whoa.
God.
So, first question. I want the top 5 teams that held the tag team titles the longest.
Ooh,
Combined days.
combined days.
Doesn't matter number of reigns. I want number of reigns.
Number of reigns.
Number of reigns by team. I want the top 5 teams. So
And are we all
Tom,
giving you? Are we all giving you 5, or are we giving them
You're
one
all
at a time?
giving me 5.
Okay. All right. So,
So this will be on a timer
So
as well.
it's who held it the longest.
No,
No,
who
the most
had
reigns.
the number of reigns. Most
most
reigns.
number of reigns.
So this will be on a timer. You have 2 minutes to hash this out.
Okay.
So Tom, go.
All right. So number 1, like I just mentioned, the Dudley Boys. They're going to be up there. Edge and Christian. Let's see who else. New Age Outlaws, definitely.
Ooh.
And let's see. Going back to WWF days or anything like that.
I had to kill a spider in my room. Yuck.
Okay. 2 more teams. Who else was really? I'm gonna guess the Hardy Boys because I feel like they were up there. Who else? Shit. I'm trying to think back before the Attitude Era. I'm gonna throw one way out of left field and say the Quebecers. So there's my 5. I'm gonna say Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, New Age Outlaws. Who did I say? The Hardys, and then the Quebecers. In no particular order, but those are my 5.
Beef? Did something happen?
Beef.
I don't know. Is Beef
I'm still
there?
here. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Beef,
Alright.
your time starts now.
All right. I'm going Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys. I'm gonna go Demolition. And boy, what does my gut tell me? The Smoking Guns. I feel like that's not right, but I can't get rid of the. Number of reigns. I don't think the Outlaws had a ton of reigns. Maybe 2 or 3, which isn't all that impressive. The Heart Foundation had 2. I think the Smoking Guns only had 2. Money Inc. How many did they have? They had like 2 or 3, not a ton. Oh, the fucking Usos. So I'll say the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, Demolition, and the Usos. Wait, no, that is not my final answer. I take that back. The Usos do not count since they did not win the WWF titles, WWE titles. They won the Raw and SmackDown titles. I rescind. So my top 4: Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Demolition, and
You've reached your time. I need a 5th one.
Smoking Guns.
Poot?
Okay, so this is most reigns.
Yes.
Okay, most reigns. I'm going to go Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys, New Age Outlaws, Edge and Christian, Demolition, and the okay. Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, New Age Outlaws, Demolition. You want top 5, right?
Yep.
So you need one more.
And the Wild Samoans.
Okay. Second part of this is still involving the same titles. This one is by individual wrestler.
Whoa.
I want the
Ooh.
top 5 individual wrestlers who had the most reigns. Not team, individual. We're going to start with Tom. Time starts now.
Oh, fuck me running. All right, so Edge. We're gonna go with all right, Edge for sure. Billy Gunn, because I'm pretty sure that he won some with the smoking guns there as well. Fuck. I'm trying to remember if any of the teams that I mentioned had, like, if any of their guys had other tag teams at all with, like, anybody else. Fuck. So, Edge. Fuck, who else did I say? Edge, Billy Gunn. Shit.
Get
All right,
close
fuck.
on time.
I know, fuck it. All right. Edge, Billy Gunn, Bully / Bubba Ray Dudley, Jeff Hardy, and Pierre, what's his fuck from the Quebecers.
PCO.
Okay, Beef.
Edge. Axe. Owen Hart. Bubba Ray Dudley and Steve Austin.
Say those again.
Edge. Axe from Demolition. Or wait, fuck, was it? It was Axe and Smash, and then Crush and... Yeah, I'll stick with Axe. Edge, Axe, Bubba Ray Dudley, Owen Hart, and Steve Austin.
I hope Ransom's writing these all down because there's no way I can fucking remember them all.
I sure am. Poot.
Oh my god.
Time starts now.
All right. I'm going to go Edge. All right. Edge, Christian, Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, and Jeff Hardy.
Okay. Well, the title did not change hands. Poot, you are the perfect 10.
What?
Wow, look at that.
What?
No.
Perfect 10. Tom,
Okay.
you had 9.
No, that's impossible.
Are you kidding me? Wait.
Nope.
Well, okay, hold on.
Tom had 9, and
Wow.
you had 7. Let me break
Wow.
it down for you.
Yeah, please.
Let me break it down. We're going to go back to by team.
Okay.
Number of reigns. In the number 1 position is the Dudley Boys with 8 tag team title reigns.
Yep.
Edge and Christian with 7. The Hardy Boys with 6. The New Age Outlaws with 5.
Oh.
And here's where you had a lot of liberties. The following teams are tied for the 5th position with a total of 3 reigns. Demolition, Mr. Fuji and Professor Tanaka,
What?
the Wild Samoans, Money Inc., Smoking Guns, Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch, the Quebecers, La
Yeah.
Resistance, the APA, and the Rock and Sock Connection.
Okay, so we all got the first
So if you got-
first question.
If you got any of those teams, if you guessed any of those teams, you got a point.
Well, okay, so I'm just thinking right off the bat, like I think if I remember correctly, we all got.
You
Oh,
all got
5.
those 5. It was
Yeah.
the second.
Oh, did I? Okay.
It was the second batch. That,
Yeah.
that did you in. So let's
well,
see.
the logic for the individual wrestler, we all pretty much said the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian, so I was like, well,
Yeah.
So by wrestler, number of reigns, Edge had a total of 12 reigns. Billy Gunn had 10
Yeah.
because
Oh.
he had some with New Age Outlaws, and then he had some with
Smoking
Billy and
Guns.
Chuck. Then he
You
had
said that,
some
Tom, and I
with-
was like, oh, Billy Gunn, yeah, and I forgot to say him. Son of a bitch.
Yep. So it was Edge with 12, Billy Gunn with 10, Kane and Christian with 9,
Wow.
Bubba Ray, Devon, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, Mankind, all with 8. And then Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and The Undertaker all had 6.
what?
Wow.
With the
That's-
Undertaker. I mean, with
That's
Kane.
crazy.
The Undertaker had a reign with Steve Austin. The Undertaker, I believe, had a reign with Kane. He had a few. So, yeah, there we go. I am still the advocate for your reigning, defending, undisputed Cruiserweight champion.
And
the Bard Bebe.
And honestly, you know what really helped me there? It was going third because I could reason out what those two were talking about.
Yeah.
So I attribute my victory to the intelligence of those two idiots.
Well, hey, I gotta say, I'm pretty goddamn proud of myself for going first, for coming up with just one short. I'm pretty proud of that, and don't worry, I'll be spray painting that son of a bitch just yet. We got the second half of this month coming up with the rest of the August super card, NXT UK Cardiff, and AEW All Out. I think it's still a pretty close game. I think it's anybody's chance for the title here.
Yeah,
what-
Poot the Bard and Beef the Legend are tied at 9-5. Ransom and Tiger Bomb Tom are at 8-6. And we all have and 1 because of Warren Kofi. But yeah,
And
otherwise it's right there.
So what are we? So what are we calling for the next one? We're calling All Out and Takeover Cardiff.
Yeah, so what we'll have to do is probably on like our weekly recording call NXT Cardiff, because we'll be watching that and then doing like a halftime show between Cardiff and All Out, and we could do our predictions on the live show for All Out if we want to do that.
Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that I didn't get 9, because would then Ransom have been the advocate for me and Tom?
I had a plan. If anybody tied, it would have gone to a tiebreaker question.
Sudden death live sex celebration. I love throwing that in there. I'm sorry, I have to. I love throwing that in any chance I get.
It would have been either number of days by individual wrestler or number of days by team.
Oh fuck.
Good Lord.
So that I would have called that on the fly, but there would have been a tiebreaker. There would have been a definitive winner.
Holy
I am
shit.
very disappointed in myself because I love tag team wrestling, and I just I choked real hard.
You were in. Well, the problem, honestly, dude, and we're gonna wrap this up here real quick, but honestly, dude, you kind of had the roughest spot because Tom had an untainted idea. You know what I mean? Like, Tom had a completely untainted, like, okay, I'll come up with this. You heard Tom, and you were like, oh, shit, yeah, that. But I heard both of you and went, okay.
Well, some of that wasn't, honestly, some of those were pretty easy because, like I said, I'd mentioned the Dudleys. We know Edge and Christian were very decorated in their time. I was thinking like any teams before the big, like Raw SmackDown split, and I mean the New Age Outlaws were a dead giveaway. The 5-time tag team champions of the world. Like, come on now, like that was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's what they son of a bitch.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm high. Honestly, I'm very disappointed in you, Beef.
I forgot they said 5-time tag team champions of the world. You are 100% correct.
Wow.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because I think I put up a good fight. I'll be spray painting that son of a bitch just yet. You wait and see.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie. At the end of that, I was really thinking that I was gonna end up being Tiger Bomb Tom's advocate. When he got 9, I thought, holy, here we go.
Yep.
That is a. Oh my God! That would have set into motion everything. I would have lost all my momentum. I would have lost my advocate. Tom would have gotten that belt, spray painted it, and then we would have had Dime Store NWO happening.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Hell, I would have had to have bought some Casual Gaming Dad merchandise so I could have sported it as the advocate.
Yeah, I'd buy you one of my own shirts. I don't give a shit. I get the 20%. I get a 20%.
Still not a bad idea.
All right,
Still not a bad idea to go and visit his website at
There you
Casual
go.
Gaming Dad on Facebook and check out some of his merch. He has some awesome shirts like the one he was wearing on Saturday during a live show.
Yes.
The CGD NWO throwback. That was pretty
so,
sweet. So check out some of his merch and buy some of it.
Yeah, gouldgaming.com. I believe the website should be back up now. I haven't heard one way or the other yet, but check it out. If it's broken, just wait. It's getting fixed. Hold on. Hold on. I was gonna say, it just may be. It's getting updated and stuff. It's not gonna redirect you to violent deals and bloody good prices on cabinets and bathroom fixtures and garage accents like WrestleDeals.com. But that segue, let's thank Sean Tischler.
All right, Sean.
I do need a new garage door.
All right, well, Sean Tischler and Wrestle Deals on Facebook. Make sure you check them out. That's Wrestle Deals on Facebook. They're working on the website. They're getting it up and running. But in case you do need deals on tool hooks for your garage or multi-family garage sales, go to WrestleDeals.com. Sean, we say all this in jest, man. Thank you so much for helping us out and deciding to partner with this scrappy little podcast.
Vanity Hair Salon!
Vanity Hair Salon! All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for going over this, and I'm looking forward to next week. I'm also looking forward to the live broadcast on August 31st. We're going to be doing that for the weekend of big wrestling that weekend, man. Tons of wrestling going on, and looking forward to it. For Beef the Legend, Tiger Bomb Tom, and my advocate, still advocate.
Still, your reigning, defending, undisputed advocate for the reigning, undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, Poot the Bard, baby.
He is Alec Ransom. Thank you all very much. Have a good night. Motherfucker.